All right, hello everyone. Welcome back. Good evening. Good to have you here. It's December 31st. It's the last day of the year and does not look like Bitcoin is going to end the year in the green, which means that this whole 4-year cycle thing that we've been expecting for a long time, that we've been following, it's gone. It's over. It doesn't exist. It's garbage. From here, something new arises, perhaps could be a super cycle, could be a mega bear cycle. Don't even know. Maybe we're in it a bit early. Still relatively early to tell at this point. Bitcoin's current price is 87,980, right about to cross 88,000 basically. We were at a good price this morning. 89,185 was our highest until, take a while to guess at what time we had a huge crash, 10 a.m. We dropped to a low of 87,213, which that's basically where I had my old entry price, and it got stopped out. I didn't lose money, but it was kind of useless to do that to me because now I don't have an active position anymore, which is whatever. But even still, even at these prices, I think I will still get back in it. So I'm going to go ahead and, this might be unwise of me, but I'm going to go ahead and do it either way. I'm just going to reopen my position there because I still want exposition to Bitcoin. I still believe that we are in an uptrend and that we will continue to rise much higher. A couple stuff has changed around me and it feels weird. I now have 3 monitors. Yes, I'm stealing my work monitor as my 3rd monitor. So I have my YouTube Studio. I just slapped my mic. YouTube Studio on the 1st monitor. The charts and the stream itself, the display that you guys are looking at, will be the 2nd monitor. And on the 3rd monitor on the other side is the OBS. So I could keep track of practically everything, hopefully. I don't know. There's a lot of space. I love the new desk. I managed to get it installed with my brother. We got it all working. And I don't know. It feels weird. I try, how do I explain this? I couldn't fit some stuff where I really wanted it to, so I had to end up compromising and pushing stuff to the corner, as crazy as it sounds. I wanted to originally have, it's an L-shaped desk, right? So one straight angle, I have my own setup, and the other straight angle, I have the work setup. But I ended up combining it all into just one, and I think that's what I'm going to have to do because one of the monitors didn't fit, and it's a curved screen anyway, so I decided to put that middle monitor, the one you guys are looking at, right there in the middle, in the center, on the edge of the L shape, right? So it's, it looks good, but it's not that convenient in my opinion, because now I'm sitting like in like the angle middle portion, if you know what I'm talking about. And it's the only good screen I have, right? The other screen that I have is just a basic old 60 hertz monitor. The curved screen, which is this one in the middle, which is my favorite one, has the best color scheme, vibrance, whatever you want to call it. It's got 185 hertz display and it's a lot smoother. I like it the most. And then you have this other one with like another 60 hertz monitor, which is from the work monitor. And yes, I will have to start working again. And the schedule is weird. They ended up changing my schedule kind of last minute to, I think it's going to be like 2 to 11 p.m., which means that my 9 p.m. slot for streaming will no longer be active anymore. That's going to be a little change that I'm going to have to make here. What I would usually have done, especially since I came back from working before, I would finish my shift at 10 and come back home by 11 to start streaming for you guys. Seems like that's no longer going to be a possibility either. I'm probably going to have to either push the stream till 12, which is very inconvenient. Midnight stream. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any viewers at midnight. Everybody's asleep. Or maybe you guys are degenerate enough to stay awake. I don't know. But not me. By midnight, I want to be in bed. So it's probably going to have to be in the mornings then. Or maybe afternoon. Probably. I don't know. I'm okay with doing a morning stream But there's just, I don't know, I feel like I prefer the night streams because I'm watching the way it works is I'm watching the news, Twitter, everything, getting information, saving it so I could be like, yeah, I could talk about that tonight and tonight's stream. And that's typically how I get it working to start streaming. But if I'm going to be doing it in the morning, I have no time. I'm going to have to wake up, not use 100% of my brain, and start looking for information and see how things work. And people still do it, don't get me wrong, because ultimately the stock market itself opens in the morning. So there's people that do it. It's just going to be more difficult for me. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to have to decide how I want to do this. It also interferes with other stuff that I do have planned for during my week, so whatever. It's the cost of living. Must get through it. Money is important. What do I do? What can I do, right? What, trade? Yeah, what are you going to trade in this? What do you call this price action? I didn't study this. It's difficult. There's a lot of manipulation. It's hard. It gets pretty crazy. I don't expect a lot either way. Today is December 31st. You guys are probably spending New Year's Eve with your family, and so was I, but everybody already left. We're not staying until midnight, apparently, so decided to hop on stream, prepare the stuff that I had to stream, because I didn't even know if I was able to stream. I had to, like, uninstall, not uninstall, but, like, unplug everything, move them away, get rid of a lot of old books and all these other stuff that I had across my desk, put that out, take out the old desk out on the street, so if you want to go pick it up. It's really old and destroyed, so I don't know if you really want that. Maybe you could sell it. I don't know. Do whatever you want with it. Actually, don't come to my house. But anyway, that's there. So I installed this new desk, and yeah, I'm happy with it though. I like it. I like the shape. It seems like it works good, and if I get uncomfortable, I can just literally stand up. What is uncomfortable right now as well is the microphone positioning. It's like, I could use the old mic stand now for sure, but I'm scared it's just going to be like in my way. But it's a very spacious desk. I'm used to like not having a spacious desk, everything being like cramped up in the middle, if you know what I'm saying. So there's that difference, but I'm fine. I'll get used to it. And I like it. I do like the design and everything. So, okay, great. Moving on from life. Let's get into Bitcoin. Current price 88,000. Finally, I was waiting kind of for that to happen. Not much has changed. We did talk a bit about how high and how low we went. The super trend, it's still staying flat, but I do expect this to start rising up pretty soon, which means that I will have to like readjust wherever I want my next limit order to be if I want to take the most advantage out of this rise. If we ever do get one, we are in an uptrend, so I do believe that we will indeed start rising, and it does look pretty healthy and in line with the lines that we have drawn over here. Yeah, that looks good. 86,000 is where that uptrend invalidates. We should be fine and continue forward. So yeah. How high? 90,000. Highest this week, I would estimate 92,000. I really don't even think we're going to hit that. What day is it today? Wednesday? It's going to be Thursday. Tomorrow, markets are actually closed, the stock market. So nothing is going to happen with Bitcoin. If it does decay, I will be entering more because I think this might be like, I'm going to miss the train. This is the last call before prices start rising. I do believe in 2026 we will start rising because this year, 2025, was indeed different. There were changes. We did get the rate cuts that we wanted. That has to like actually take effect though. Everything was priced in and arguably at a bad moment as well. We didn't really get, okay, October was a good rise at the beginning. The liquidation event kind of demoralized everyone because everybody lost a lot of money, myself included. So people tend to quit when that kind of stuff happens. They're like, no, you know what? This is full manipulation. How is it possible that, Trump announces a tariff and we drop harder than ever? So that's another thing that we're waiting for in 2026 is the Supreme Court tariff ruling. Will that pass? Will it be illegal? I'm hoping for your bearish case. so that the US economy will be good long term. Yes, it will suck, but it's not a big deal. We've lived through tariffs all throughout this year 2025, and yeah, it's been pretty bad, but it's also been not that bad. We've still been hitting all-time highs this year, so you can't really blame it on the tariffs. You can only use tariffs as an excuse to force prices to drop as manipulation, which, with a new market structure bill, apparently this is what a lot of people are talking about, that type of manipulation should hopefully end, or just spontaneous drops that we've been seeing at 10 a.m. Whatever this is. I'm sure, no, this happened in like noon. I don't know if you could really count this one, but yeah, stuff like that. We've been seeing the same kind of thing happen pretty frequently. We don't have a CME gap to worry about anymore, not that I'm aware of. So this should paint a clear path for us to start rising higher in 2026 is my hypothesis. It's not financial advice. I could be wrong, and 2026 could be the worst year in existence, and we could drop to 66,000. I wouldn't drop you lower than that for Bitcoin. Altcoins themselves had a little relief rally, but they seem to have been coming down a little bit. We'll get into all of those next, because I do want to start increasing my positions in altcoins right now, especially due to the fact that we have flipped trends on some of them, not all of them, as I thought we did yesterday. Today we will also be talking about the news that we didn't really get to cover yesterday because my browser crashed and I actually wasn't able to show what I wanted to show, but I still got through a big half of it, and I was expecting to show you guys a lot either way. Not much has happened today, nonetheless. So we'll be reviewing the year. We'll be talking about Minnesota fraud. We'll talk about Elon Musk, him talking about Twitter, X, the payouts, competing against YouTube, that kind of stuff, and then just other general crypto news. So let's move toward that. First of all, Ethereum, 0% movement, 2,983. We're trying to break 3,000. We're not really able to stay above it. Highest we did hit today was 3,026, which was all right. It was a good pump in the morning. I think this was in the morning. Yeah, 7 a.m. We've kind of decayed. Not too big of a change, hovering around here. Where would I like to buy Ethereum? Anything below 2,900. I'm willing to enter, because as long as it doesn't go obviously breaking this uptrend, which invalidates at 2,860, 65, whichever number you choose. That's where we have this uptrend line that I do have faith that we will, if we do approach it, start bouncing up from here. Even if that does not mean that we're oversold on RSI, it could paint a picture something like this. I'd still be willing to buy that because we're still on an uptrend. You don't have to wait for it to be oversold in a 4-hour chart in an uptrend to buy, right? To go long. So I'm gonna still just enter even if it approaches that area. Of course, rationally with a stop loss, and stop loss obviously where the uptrend would invalidate any point below over here. If I'm lucky enough, then yes, things will continue higher from here. Small decay is what I'm expecting, is just because of the fact that nothing is going to happen tomorrow. It's the New Year's Day. Everybody's taking the day off. Stock markets are closed. So not a lot of volatility, liquidity, etc. But next year itself, I think, will be great overall. Doesn't mean that we're immediately going to start rising every single day. Sure, we'll have our bad days, but we will also have more good days than bad days is what I'm hoping for, especially because of how pessimistic, how bad this year has been for a lot of the altcoins. They've had good rises, but none of them are at all-time highs or near all-time highs at these prices. They're at pretty good discounts if you ask me. So some of them I will be increasing exposition. So Ethereum is one of them, below 2,900, above 2,860. Solana, I don't plan on increasing any exposition anytime soon until we break anything above 130, which we have not been able to do. We did poke above it. We hit a high of $130.13, but it wasn't enough. We didn't close the candle at that price, meaning that there was enough sell pressure to keep prices lower. There's still a lot of shorting going on in Solana, keeping the prices suppressed. So, uptrend is trying to be, the downtrend is trying to be broken, but it's still there. It's still active. So things can continue lower. Therefore, I will not touch Solana yet. I do have active position there still at, what is it, 171? What does it break even at right now? 173. The fees are not that bad. But I do get liquidated pretty darn soon at 116, which we were really close to hitting at one point, but Olympic save, I did not get liquidated, and we're still in it. So for the time being, I'm keeping that there. Solana can drop to somewhere 120. I like that. 119.99. That's pretty perfect. Almost 120. You can basically call it 120 as a support level for Solana. It's psychological. Support 1 leveled is there from pivot levels. And it would also near coincide with whatever excuse of an uptrend we have over here, which I like. Moving on from Solana, we have Zcash. It's had its good rise here. I think it's it might start lowering a bit as well, approaching the uptrend invalidation zone. I don't think it will invalidate its uptrend. It does have a strong uptrend, so it's likely to get more buyers around this area. You're looking at 470 as a potential good entry for Zcash. That's probably what I would do. Zcash would be one of the coins that I would consider entering. Yeah, probably at a higher price, but I'll enter responsibly with a stop loss someplace below whatever this uptrend line would give me. And I don't know how ambitious I'd be with a take profit, because we do have to worry about a downtrend coming up soon. Meaning that 630, I do not expect that to happen. I think I talked about 600 in the past. I'd aim for 600 as a good take profit zone. But I'd wait for prices to drop a little bit first. Anything below 500, I don't want to see it above 500 for me to be entering. I'd enter around 470 to 500, around that area. Negative funding rate still for Zcash, so even if you do go long, you're perfectly fine. Sui is still in its downtrend, making new lows. Not new lows, but, you know, local bottoms, if you want to call it that. Our lowest today was 138. We did have a decent rise, but we were not able to break above 150, so this will unfortunately continue a little bit lower. We could slow down at 136, but I don't know how feasible this is. I would be more confident in looking at 130 for Sui to, you know, a potential good entry on Sui. We've hit that multiple times. I think it's still a good support. And also, where do I even get liquidated? 113? Oh, I'm still fine. But it's still a volatile one, so don't want to risk it. Don't want to roll the dice. I'll just let it do its thing. Hyperliquid is kind of dead right now. It's been lateralizing like this for a long moment, and I proposed a short position somewhat like this, which would still technically be active, which goes to show the power of the resistance of the downtrend that the super trend levels do provide. It's not always perfect, but it's still there, and I like it. I would have entered a short position at 26 with a take profit at 24. That obviously did not get hit, but my stop loss also did not get hit if I was to enter this position. I didn't really do it. It's just a hypothetical. Stop loss would be at 27, where the downtrend invalidates, which is 26.90. We do also have a very good resistance at 26.63 that should prevent prices from going higher. I don't know why I'm saying this for Hyperliquid. I do want prices to go higher for Hyperliquid. I would love that. I would love for the trends to be higher, to be in an uptrend overall. But in this scenario of this short position that was once proposed by me, that's what I look for in Hyperliquid. Moving on. I mean, its current price is $25.83 if you care. Chainlink, $12.23. Seems like it is still heading lower as well. I don't know. Bit of a mixed one. Everything is... Some stuff are going up. Some stuff are coming back down. Maybe it's a fake out on Bitcoin's trend. Could be. I don't think so. I think we're still safe with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, even if it drops to 86,000, I'm still fine with it. We can still rise from there. If we do start heading lower, then it would have all been a big fake out. This would have been the shortest potential uptrend that we have seen. And what this would mean is just prolonging the downtrend, which would now come from our all-time high and would be supported by whatever this 90,000 rise we hit a couple days ago as your new downtrend, which means it's still pretty close to breaking. But obviously, if we do lose the uptrend, you're expecting a larger movement downward. Could take us to 84, 82, whatever the case may be. But that should happen. I'm talking about levels in this week. I accidentally rammed my chair into my desk. I don't know if you guys heard that. That's pretty cool, but whatever. I'm not used to this desk. So even if I like move around, I'm hitting one of the two angles. Now that it's an L-shaped desk, it's rough. I wish this would be set up the way I wanted it to. The only solution I have is to like get two separate monitors that will fit on the platform properly on the top part of the desk. And I guess mouse and keyboard. That's another thing as well, is the mouse and keyboard, because it's wired, the wires get in the way, and some of them are not even long enough, so I have to kind of like compromise. I had to push everything into the middle so that it goes through the hole in the desk that can go into the PC itself. That's the only annoying part about it, but I don't know, I still like the desk. I could hypothetically drill holes in like the back part of the desk where like there's a wall right near where the support for where the monitors stand are supposed to go. Whatever. That's an issue for another day. This is a temporary thing, and I don't know how I'm going to proceed, especially with like work and the schedule shift change, stuff like that. It's pretty rough. BitTensor's current price is $220. Dude, why can't everything just go rise so that I do not have to work another day in my life? I mean, things were doing great. Things were doing great. You know what messed me up a lot? Was October 10. It really messed me up like so much. I lost more than half of my net worth. And you guys saw that. You guys saw that all happen live. It's all live streamed there. My whole crypto journey. Yeah, the other days were pretty bad as well, like April 7, how can you forget? February 2nd, the big shock that Trump first announced tariffs. Last year in 2024, we also had the shock of recession, August 5 drop. We also had like, the wars in Israel, Iran, that's still happening. Still might happen as well for this year. That's an occasion where I would understand a big drop for 2026, Israel-Iran war. Russia-Ukraine, not so much. They're still just going at each other. Yeah, I don't expect much to come of it. It's more... I was going to say it's more likely for them to find a peace deal, but it's really not. So it's just more likely to just prolong itself, and Russia will eventually win, is what I believe. What else do we have? Aptos is at 165. That's good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I wanted to hit 160. Or should I just go ahead and enter now? I could hypothetically go and enter Aptos right now. A little dangerous though, but hey, no risk, no reward, am I right? This is my projection for it, and it's kind of playing out according to what I drew. Well, I gotta put my money where my mouth is, huh? Alright. I think I'm gonna do it. I hope I don't get this alert again, because that's just so annoying. It keeps popping up. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Let's see. What do we got? What are we working with? So our entry position is going to have to be somewhere here, which sucks. Stop loss is going to have to be somewhere here. Give me like the most odd number that you can give me. Is 157 too close? I'll do 156.86, sure. Let me do a market long, because we have an uptrend, we're going long. And stop loss would be, what's that number? 157.97. Take profit I don't care about yet. You got to worry about the risk. How much are you risking here? I'll do $50 just for starters. And this should give me, I'll decide on a take profit soon. I'll open Aptos long 3x. There you go. And your take profit from here at $2. Okay, hold on a sec. First of all, where is the... Okay, I have to go. I don't know why it shows two types of take profit and stop loss. There's no real difference between the two, other than one is more acting like a limit order, the other one is acting like a genuine stop loss or take profit order. Whatever. Stop loss is already there. Wait, if I uncheck it, does it delete that? No, it doesn't. Then what is the point? Okay. I'm going to do this instead. The position, take profit, stop loss, it's more easier to manage. You literally just put in the price and that's it. You don't specify like how much of the portion you want to take out. I guess that's the real difference between the two, is if you want like a partial close, that's what you would use TPSL for. But if you want for the whole thing to close, then you use the position, take profit and stop loss. You want to just end it right there. Which I never do partial closes. I it's too confusing for me. It's cringe, so I decided not to. 1.5797. And no offense to you if you do, by the way. It's just my personal preference. $2. I'm fancy like that. That'll be a gain of 224. Let's do it. Aptos is very oversold. I'll do this. And I can maybe get rid of this because this is in the way. I don't want any conflicts, so we'll get rid of that. There you go. That's better. We lose 51 or we make 224. It's in God's hands. Let's allow that. And that is all. Great. Okay. Let's get into the news. We did have stuff from yesterday that we left over to talk about today, so we'll get into that right now. And hopefully this thing doesn't crash. I don't think it will. I think it crashed last time is because I had 2 browsers open with lots of tabs open. When I went through all the tabs on my first browser, I closed it, and it crashed the second browser that was open with the rest of the tabs because they might have been like snoozed or something to save memory, right? Because that's a lot of RAM to have all those tabs open. But it's not Google Chrome. Chrome kills your RAM, so I'm using Opera browser. But yeah, still apparently didn't work. Whatever, dude. Okay, the White House posted a 2025 year-in review. How about we review that? Yes. January 20, Trump was sworn in to office, and so was Vice President J.D. Vance. January 24, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump visit the California and North Carolina disaster areas. Remember the fires? How it happened. February 11, Trump welcomes home Mark Fogel at the White House. No clue who that is. February 16, Trump at the Daytona 500. No idea what that is. Don't even remember that. March 3rd, First Lady Melania speaks at a roundtable event on the Take It Down Act. Are we just going to gloss over the fact that you announced tariffs on February 2nd? That's not the 2025 that I remember. I should probably give the 2025 I remember after this. March 4, Trump addresses a joint session of Congress. When was this? I don't remember what it was for. March 17, Trump at the Kennedy Center. For what? I really don't remember any of these. April 21, Trump at the White House Easter egg roll. I don't even remember that. April 26, Trump and First Lady Melania attend the funeral mass for Pope Francis. I remember Pope Francis passing away. It was literally the day after J.D. Vance visited him, shakes hands with him, and then the Pope dies. Isn't that suspicious? This is a false allegation. Don't sue me, J.D. May 14, Trump bids farewell to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud as he boards the Air Force One at King Khalid International Airport in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I remember him visiting Saudi. And didn't Qatar also gift him like a huge jet? That also happened. June 14, Trump and Melania attend the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army Grand Parade and celebration. Okay, I don't remember that. July 4, Trump signs the One Big Beautiful Bill into law. That was big. I remember that. Huge controversy. This is when Elon and Trump had their falling out. July 13, Trump attends the 2025 FIFA World Cup final. What? FIFA Club World Cup final. We didn't have FIFA this year. I'm out of touch with sports and soccer, but I'm pretty sure we did not have a World Cup this year. That's what it's saying, right? I'm confused. Whatever. September 17th. How did we already in September? July. What happened in August? I guess nothing. September 17, they had state banquet with King Charles and Queen Camilla at Windsor Castle in England. I remember their visit to England. September 21st, the memorial service for Charlie Kirk. I remember this as well. A lot of memes came out of this with like Erica Kirk and her celebration of her quote unquote celebration of, I don't know, would you even call that a funeral if there's like fireworks and this huge display of it seemed more like an anniversary rather than a funeral. It was weird, but whatever. Everybody admits it was odd. October 5th, Trump gestures the crowd after arriving on stage to deliver, 250th anniversary. No one cares about Navy. I'm kidding. Thank you for your service, Navy, but moving on from that. October 7, Trump meets with freed American Israeli hostage. Okay. And October 28, welcomes Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takeichi. I remember this. I love this. I love the Japanese Prime Minister. I love the name. It's so great. November 25th, the turkeys thing, the gobble and wobble, I think his names were. I don't understand what the tradition is here. I'm sorry. I know we eat turkeys, yes, but they pardon the national turkeys? What's with the pardoning of turkeys? I never really understood that. I don't remember if I covered this on the stream or not. I felt it was maybe too irrelevant and I maybe didn't cover that. Or maybe I did bring it up. I don't know. December 12th, they host a Christmas reception. Okay, you want to hear my 2025 year in review? All I'm going to do is pull up a one-day chart and go through it all with you guys. For 2025, where do we start? We started over here. 2025 in review. It was great. Trump had already won. We were rising. We were making all-time highs. We hit an all-time high of 110,000. Awesome. Thank you, Trump. What happens? Trump gets inaugurated. He announced his first wave of tariffs February 2nd or 3rd, whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty sure it was 2nd. This is using Singapore time, so the candles look a little different. But yes, we dropped over here and a lot of altcoins crashed and I got big liquidated. I lost, I'm not going to say the amount, but I did lose a big chunk of money. And I was on vacation when this happened. I was like literally boarding a plane and I couldn't do anything about it because airplane Wi-Fi is not even airplane Wi-Fi. It was airport Wi-Fi. The planes did not have Wi-Fi. We were too broke to afford a good plane. But yeah, trash plane, by the way. I'm not going to trash your company publicly because I'm going to get sued. It's Avianca. Yeah, anyways. Then prices continued dropping over here all throughout February because, I don't know, more tariffs were announced on Canada, China, Mexico because of fentanyl. Yeah, we import so much fentanyl, guys. It's awesome. No, we really don't. So it didn't make any sense. That kind of got paused. We also had fears of talks about Liberation Day. March. This happened in March. Trump talks about, I love crypto, guys. I'm going to announce a strategic reserve with Bitcoin. No, sorry. He said with XRP, Cardano, and Solana. And Cardano shoots up a whole 70%, doubling in, no, that's not doubling in price, almost doubling in price. $1 plus, okay, for Cardano, which is rare to see these days. Cardano's not even worth 30 cents or whatever. I haven't looked at Cardano. And then he's like, oh, but don't forget Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's also really good. Haha. And then okay, we're like, okay, thanks, Trump. What about that strategic reserve? Also happened in March, by the way. Trump says, yep, guys, I love Bitcoin. We're getting a strategic reserve. Here you go. Literally in that same week, I'm pretty sure it was, or close to. And then we're like, great, thanks, Trump. How are we going to buy more Bitcoins? Oh, I don't know. We're going to use the seized Bitcoins that we already have and never going to sell it. That's it. It's only 200,000 Bitcoins at the time. We're like, okay, well, how are you going to buy more? Don't know. Cynthia Loomis is in charge of that. Okay, thanks, Cynthia Loomis. She makes a few speeches. That's it. No real announcement on how we're going to buy more Bitcoin. There was the proposal of, yeah, let's buy 100,000 Bitcoin every year for 5 years. Or was it 200,000? We're trying to get 1 million. Yeah, so it would have been 200,000 Bitcoin every year purchased by the United States for 5 years. That should give us 1 million Bitcoin plus the 200,000 that we already have. We'd be holding more Bitcoin than Satoshi himself. That was the plan. But no. None of it happened, and then Liberation Day was being talked about, a lot of tariffs, and it ultimately happened. We had our biggest crash over here, dropping to a low of 74,000 on Bitcoin. Altcoins, don't even look at them. And then 2 days later, Trump is like, hey, it's a great time to buy. A couple hours later, he says, I'm pausing all the tariffs. Woohoo, we rally to a new all-time high. 111,000? 112, almost. And then we keep on rallying all throughout July. Well, before this, actually, we bomb Iran right over here. We drop below to 98,000. I was like, okay, we're getting into war with Iran. This is probably going to take a while. And I'm removing my funds and I'm selling Bitcoin at 99,000. They waited for me to sell before they said, guys, that's it. The war is over. We will now have peace in the Middle East now that Iran does not have any nukes. And everything starts rallying again. I'm like, okay, well, thank you, Trump. This drop over here, June 5th, was because Trump and Elon Musk We're feuding. You're in the Epstein files, Trump. That's why you won't release them. And he's like, why did you bring that up? You weren't supposed to bring that up. Oh yeah, guys, well, we're going to remove Elon's subsidies. And Tesla stock crashes. And also, Elon is a drug addict. Okay. And then you're looking at Elon being like, yeah, Trump is in those Epstein files. That's why he won't release it. Alleging that Trump is a PDF file. But then you also see Elon Musk allow his kid to hang out with Trump. There's that video of them walking peacefully toward a helicopter or something in the near the White House fields. I don't know where it was. It's ironic. Obviously, Elon probably didn't really believe that. He just decided to drop this bombshell on Donald. So that big thing was happening there. Crazy stuff. After it all passed, no more war in Iran. We start rising again. We hit our great all-time high at 123,000. And then we start lateralizing for a while. What is this? July. One big beautiful bill passes. Great. August. I don't remember what happens in August, but we hit another all-time high at 124,000. It was just great overall. This was at the peak of my wealth over here. And then we started dropping a little bit because, are we really going to get the rate cuts that we're expecting this year? We've been waiting all year and we really didn't get a rate cut yet. We're in August. We only have a couple more meetings left. We only have 3 meetings left. What's going to happen? There's all this talks of maybe a government shutdown next month in October because the Democrats and illegal aliens and free healthcare and Obamacare and Medicare and all that, the subsidies, what are we going to do with that? Who cares? Bitcoin price crashes around 25th of September due to uncertainty of whether or not we would have a rate cut. I think we ended up getting the rate cut in September. It was a sell the news event. Sure, thank you. We got the first rate cut. Rise. And we did. October 1st, government shutdown. We did not get any economic data, so we don't know how the next FOMC meeting is going to go. Probably good, because that's why prices were rising. It was great. October 6th, we had a new all-time high at 126,000. And then we're like, okay, great. Government shutdown seems to be working in our favor, but hey, let's actually analyze and think about this. What if the government shutdown is actually a bad thing? Oh, and then what is Trump talking about over here? He's talking about China. He's upset with China. Oh no, he announces a 100% tariff on China. Nothing new. We've seen this happen before, but we decided to have our biggest liquidation event. Very absurd. Everything crashes to impossibly low prices, liquidating everybody in existence, myself included. That was the worst day ever, October 10. I still stand by it. The worst day in crypto history. This is worse than FTX, worse than Luna crash, worse than, I don't know, Mt. Gox, you name it, COVID. This is worse than all that. Which is awesome. This is worse than the 2008 financial crisis. There you go. Okay. Probably not really. I don't really know. I wasn't alive in 2008. Yes, I was, but I don't know. I wasn't conscious. Okay. I was on the floor playing with Hot Wheels or something. Anyways, that happens and we start thinking, okay, nobody wants to buy crypto anymore. Oh, we're kind of coming back, recovering from this whole thing. Yeah, not really. We get the next rate cut. You should be rising. Yeah, but they cut because they're kind of nervous about the jobs market. And Jerome Powell did not guarantee that we're getting another rate cut for this year. So we're like, screw this, we're dropping. And also sell the news either way because we did get the rate cut that we wanted. And we're not getting the economic data. We need the economic data. And things kept on dropping. And this was all now because of JP Morgan saying MicroStrategy is the worst stock and they will go out of business. And their MNAV is not in relation to correlating to Bitcoin appropriately anymore. It's actually worse than Bitcoin. They're getting kicked out of the indices. And the MSCI is actually going to do that in January, probably. I'm pretty sure they still will. They make prices crash. I was at 5x leverage on Bitcoin, and I dumped a lot in here, especially after the October 10 crash, because I'm like, I gotta make this money back somehow. And I was getting liquidated at 82,000. Guess how low we dropped? We dropped to 80,000. We wait until I get liquidated on Bitcoin before we start, okay, this is the bottom now, guys. Perfect. I got liquidated at the bottom. Terrible. we start doing our lateralization and we're still kind of here. What's 2026 going to bring? My expectation is this is way too far down now. We're likely to start rising from here. We've kind of found our footing. 80,000, I don't believe we should go lower than that. We still can, don't get me wrong. Your next low points after 80,000 would be 74, maybe 70 itself. 66, that's as low as I would go. And let's hope we don't see that. We gotta get a lot of bad stuff going on in order for us to be looking at 2026, right? To be 66,000 for Bitcoin. I'm trying to... Here's my stream. Okay, great. That's all for this. I'm not going to bore you with the year-end review, but it's kind of important to look at it, at what happened. So that's my year-end review on like whatever Trump has been talking about. We've got wars to worry about. There are geopolitical tensions at some of the highest levels we've seen in a long time. We already talked about yesterday, Ukraine allegedly tried to attack Putin's residence. There's like low credibility in that at this point. It's probably just maybe even Russia trying to prolong the war instead by, using that as a false flag to say, look, guys, Ukraine is trying to continue this war, so we're going to continue this war even harder, maybe. There's rising Israel-Iran tensions and ongoing Iran protests, which we've talked about yesterday. Netanyahu visiting Trump, etc. China, apparently they've been surrounding Taiwan again. Do you guys see that? They're doing like plane shows and boats swimming around them. I don't know what they're doing. It's a typical thing that they do to show off. Even Trump did comment on this. He's like, it's just another thing that they typically do to just show their power. Whatever. United Arab Emirates and Saudi tensions. I'm not aware of this. I don't know what's going on there. And we had the U.S. land operation in Venezuela. They bombed San Francisco, Venezuela, which is very close to Colombia. And everybody's confirmed that, yes, these were U.S. airstrikes that happened on land at last. First time this has ever happened. Recently, I believe. Whatever. So all of those geopolitical tensions can affect us in 2026. There's just one thing to pay attention to. That's all for this. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Minnesota fraud, and there is a lot of stuff going on here. This young man, Nick Shirley, has been going around the state of Minnesota documenting these daycares, from what I understand, where there's a lot of Somalian immigrants in this place. There's apparently some fraud going on. They're receiving funding from the government. And he goes in and he's like, well, what kids are you taking care of? If this is a daycare, maybe I want to, get my kid in here. How would I sign up for it? He's like, oh, no, you're not allowed. Oh, no, stop bothering us. The Somalian immigrants are like trying to kick him out. They get meal programs, housing, whatever it said over there. A lot of it is being stolen, by all these Somalian fraudulent businesses is basically what it's talking about here. We uncover over $110 million in one day of fraud. Like it, share it, around like wildfire. It's time to hold these corrupt politicians and fraudsters accountable. And we all know how much, for whatever reason, Tim Walz and that one mayor in Minnesota from, I forget which city, probably the capital city, they're in love with these Somalian immigrants. I don't understand why. Sure. And Nick Shirley also says it's important that this fraud is exposed. I tried my best to just show the facts and make it transparent for everyone to see. I've been getting thousands of messages from people who want to support my work. The most important thing is to follow. Okay, all right, I'm not going to read this whole ad for him. But yeah, he's even getting recognition from the vice president himself. J.D. Vance said, this dude has done far more useful journalism than any of the winners of the 2024 Pulitzer Center Prizes. Which I would kind of agree. And he's actually making a difference. He's gotten the attention of the whole media. He's gotten the attention of the FBI, the Department of Justice, and they're taking action. The DOJ has charged 98 individuals, and this is old news, 2 days ago, I can't do math, December 29. They charged 98 individuals in connection to fraud in Minnesota, 85 of them from Somalian descent. Here is Attorney General Pam Bondi's statement on it. Well, the Department of Justice confirmed 60 of them have pled guilty or have been convicted out of the 98 that have been charged. Cam Bondi says, Nick Shirley, by the way, tagging the wrong account. It's Shirley with 2 Ys, not 3 Ys. This is a rando. Account suspended. That is crazy. Imagine you have this handle. She hasn't even bothered to edit the post. That's so funny. Nick Shirley's work has helped show Americans the scale of fraud in Tim Walz's Minnesota. This guy, by the way, was about to be your vice president if that darn woman Kamala Harris won the presidential election, which was pretty funny to think about. The Justice Department has been investigating this for months. So far, we've charged 98 individuals, 85 are of Somali descent. More than 60 have been found guilty in court. You have more prosecutions coming. Buckle up, lawmakers. Do I want to read all this? Yeah, I'm not going to read all this, but it shows like what type of frauds they have been doing. Medicaid fraud, autism treatment, Medicaid scheme, juror bribery. What is this one? A lot of crimes, I guess. Charging a bunch of random Somalian dudes. Feeding our future, the largest COVID-19 fraud case charged in the country. Here's a few cases that they've been talking about. Okay. Elon Musk, of course, has gone out to comment on this. He obviously does not like Tim Walz. The FBI on rampant Somali fraud in Minnesota. Things are about to get much worse for the Somali fraud criminals and their enablers. He just spoke with a senior FBI source who tells me that the agency has surged investigative criminal units into Minneapolis and predicts public takedowns of Somali fraudsters soon. So yeah, even the FBI is taking action, and Elon Musk comments on this saying, now it's the find out part of FAFO. All right. And a lot of people are, of course, hoping that Tim Walz gets some of that action of the FO part. Minnesota fraud is tip of a very large iceberg. FBI surged resources before Nick Shirley's video even dropped. I don't think I'm going to read all this, but it's all there. So Nick Shirley just finding lots of money and that was being frauded. They did start taking action on this, the FBI, so that's good. And it could be happening anywhere else is basically what this post is talking about, because it's only Minnesota where someone bothered to take a look at what's happening. The biggest part of it, I don't think I have I might have it. There was like one of the videos that Nick Shirley went to investigate was a daycare that said Leering Center instead of Learning Center. Like it wasn't even spelled properly. So it's pretty obvious that something is off there. They're just using that as like a front to run their shady business, whatever it is that these people do, or just steal funds from the government. Kash Patel released this Minnesota fraud scheme update. The FBI is aware of recent social media reports in Minnesota. However, even before the public conversation escalated online, the FBI had surged personnel and investigative resources to Minnesota to dismantle large-scale fraud schemes exploiting federal programs. Fraud that steals from taxpayers and robs vulnerable children will remain a top FBI priority in Minnesota and nationwide. I'm not reading all that. Furthermore, many are also being referred to immigrations officials for possible further denaturalization and deportation proceedings were eligible. It's just a tip of a very large iceberg, so they will continue to investigate, is what they're saying. Great. Here's now kind of this pushback from Somalians themselves, kind of acting like this huge group to protect themselves against this one guy, Nick Shirley. Video of Somalis ganging up and surrounding Nick Shirley as he tried to investigate a company for fraud. Numerous times the Somalis surrounded him, trailed him, or threatened him to prevent an investigation. It's pretty crazy. And he's also posting this stuff that, dude, I'm getting death threats. They want me dead. They literally post stuff like this and be like, this is going to be you on April 27th of 2026 in a muddy ditch alongside the highway. Enjoy your last couple of months, buddy. And yeah, even Elon, of course, is trying to bring as much attention to this as possible, saying like, yeah, fraudsters want to kill him for telling the truth. So pretty dangerous. He's been facing serious threats after exposing billions in alleged Minnesota fraud. There's bounties on me here in Minnesota, is what he said, because people are so upset as far as the fraud that's being exposed, because they know their time is up, and they know that everyone's just sick and tired of this happening inside of their own state and across America. So yeah, pretty crazy. He went on Trump Jr.'s show on Rumble to talk about it. It's interesting. And Tim Walz is no saint. There's literally, this is an old video of 2024 May. On the day, on Minnesota Day, Statehood Minnesota Day, he decided to change the flag for Minnesota to something that awfully is resemblant of the Somalian flag. The Minnesota flag used to look like this, and now it looks like this. Pretty clear inspiration, plagiarism from the Somalian flag, because there's already just so many of them over there. Minnesota has been conquered. Elon Musk says, traitor Tim Walz. I prefer tampon Tim Walz. Why can't we do tampon traitor Tim Walz? How about that? Awesome. There's actually, I think I alluded to this before, but I couldn't find the post. Tim Walz is 30 times more likely to be charged with a federal crime than he is to be president, which is just insane. And a lot of people are hoping for this. Go ahead, charge the guy with a federal crime for, you know, stealing taxpayer money, funds, and committing all this fraud. Great. Elon also, he finally says that at least $1.5 trillion, roughly 20% of the US federal budget, is likely lost to fraud each year. And he does care about this stuff because, as you can see with the hat he's wearing, he did found Doge to cut government spending and try to save money as much as possible. But he kind of gave up after the One Big Beautiful Bill was created by Trump, and he's like, dude, this is just going to increase the deficit and undo all the hard work that I'm kind of doing, so I'm just leaving. But Doge apparently is still a thing, and they have their contract until sometime in 2026. I think it's June, I think. So they're still ongoing, but they're just not talked about as much. They're still saving a couple $1 million, but compared to the trillions that we are in debt, that's nothing, dude. They should just give me a $1 million so that I can retire. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Now, this is a separate post of Trump talking about we're removing the National Guard from Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland, despite the fact that crime has been greatly reduced by having these great patriots in those cities, and only by that fact. Yeah, so there's no more National Guards being deployed in those areas. I think they're still in Washington, D.C., from what I understand, and some other irrelevant city, but yeah. That's great. Moving on to the rest of the world. Bulgaria is joining the Euro area tomorrow or today for them. I don't know. They're a whole day ahead of us in Europe. They're already in 2026. Can you believe that? I'm still in 2025. We're 2 hours away from getting some fireworks shot out. I might fly my drone, honestly, and get some of that footage. Would be pretty cool. Ursula von der Leyen says this milestone reflects years of hard work and commitment with Bulgaria. Now it means simpler payments, easier travel, and so many new opportunities for Bulgarian businesses. You can be proud of what you achieved. Should we be happy for Bulgaria? I think we should. Fine. They adopt the euro. If they didn't have it already, I'm not sure. What is the currency in Bulgaria? I only met one lady from Bulgaria in my life ever. And I seen this. No, I didn't see nothing. Never mind. It was another meme. It's the Bulgarian lev. But as of January 1st, so literally right now in their time zone, it's being replaced by the euro. So yes, they will be adopting the euro. And you can travel freely between the rest of the Euro area countries, the European Union, right? Good, I guess. That's good for them, sure. What else do we have? Syria. Portraits of Assad al-Bashar, I think. What is his name? Who is Assad? Bashar al-Assad. Yes, I knew it. He's this guy from... Have you seen that meme on Instagram where it's like, I'm not even going to attempt to sing it, but it's like, I don't know. Whatever, dude. Whatever. What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? The Syrian president, Ahmed al-Shara, is a new one, has unveiled a new design for the national currency. So instead of portraits of the Assad family, Syrian pound banknotes now feature olives, wheat, oranges, and other local crops. A redenomination has also been carried out, with zeros removed from the banknotes to simplify transactions. Good, because I'm sure they got hyperinflation and they can't keep up. The new banknotes will enter circulation on January 1st, so it's literally in effect right now, 2026. The Syrian president, Ahmad al-Shara, said the shape of the new currency is also an expression of the new national identity. It's about moving away from the stereotypical state of sanctifying people and placing them on banknotes, and instead moving towards more symbolic representations related to the Syrian reality. People come and go, but the most enduring connection is the connection to nature. So no more portraits of Bashar al-Assad. It is now fruits and vegetables and plants. Great. How about Iran? The Islamic regime in Iran is quickly pushing the Iranian economy toward hyperinflation. I just banged my chair on my desk again. It's going to be a frequent occurrence. You know what? I'm going to stand up. I can move my desk to stand up. Get ready. I don't know if it's going to make any noise. I have it pre-configured. All right, here we go. I hope I don't pull any cables, actually. I don't even know if this is going to work. It's still rising. Cables look fine. Okay, there we go. Now I got to stand up. This is me standing up now. Do you know to change in tone? Whatever. You guys can't even see anything. After a quick rise in recent days, an Iranian rial is currently worth around, I'm not reading all these zeros, but that's a lot of zeros, and 7. Meaning that $1 is worth 1.4 million IRR, Iranian rial. The Mullah regime is running Iran. I don't understand what this means, but crazy inflation, bad economy in Iran? Sure. Moving on from all that, Twitter. Elon Musk says that X will significantly increase creator payouts, potentially even higher than YouTube. I think it's time I shut down my channel. If YouTube won't do it themselves, I will, and I'll move to X if the payout is a little better. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just keep both. I could keep both. Why not? I should also be multi-streaming in different platforms. I still haven't, spared myself the time to get into all that. But now with this setup, maybe I will. I don't know. One thing I also had to kind of give up was, and I didn't talk about this, is the Ethernet cable that connects to my PC. That's no longer going to be a thing. I'm now on Wi-Fi, right? Good thing that my PC does support Wi-Fi. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to stream. I probably still would be able to. The thing is now I have to use that Ethernet cable to plug into my work computer because that one does not have Wi-Fi. So yes or yes, I do have to have that cable plugged in. It's a big issue, whatever. My struggles. Mr. Beast commented on this, saying that it will be pretty hard for X to compete with YouTube revenue. And this is coming from the guy who confirms his main YouTube channel has made more than 9 figures in ad revenue with 100+ billion views. What is 9 figures? I'm too small brain to think about this. Is this like hundreds of millions or billions? I'm sure it's billions, right? How much is 9 figures? I can't believe I'm stupid enough to ask this. Numbers with 9 digits. So hundreds of millions, just under 1 billion. Okay, I was in the right ballpark. Okay, cut me some slack. MicroStrategy. We're at the end of the year. The stock falls toward a new 52-week low, now on track to end 2025 down 48%. 2025, Bitcoin is down, what, 6% maybe? I could literally figure this out right now. What am I struggling for? We started at 93,000. We're current prices, yeah. Wow, look at that guess, 6.5%. So Bitcoin is down 6%. MicroStrategy, though, is down 48%. Which one are you buying? Which one should you have bought? Well, obviously none. You should have just aped into silver and made billions, of course. How did you not know that? Obviously. I'm kidding. Nobody knew that. Only Robert Kiyosaki, apparently. Did he even sell his silver at this point? He sold his Bitcoin. Did he sell silver? I don't even know. Starbucks, they said that they will be closing 400 stores across the United States in case you care. And I have an insider trade to share with you guys. We have not seen this guy trade in a while. You're not seeing anyone trade this stock in a decade. Josh Gottheimer just filed a purchase of a stock in a company called CSW, and I don't know what this is, and I want to look it up, so that's why I decided to share this here. CSW, what is this? Ignore these pivot levels, I apologize in advance. Let's do something cleaner. So this is dropping. That's crazy. Why are we dropping? Probably a good buying opportunity. It's about to be oversold very soon. I'm looking at this technically first. What is this? What do you call this chart pattern? When a candle opens and closes there? What is this gap? How do you even explain this? Crazy. Okay. Can I go back? I will draw Fibonacci from there either way, because that's not what I wanted. It's still a valid low, as much as we hate to accept it. You're looking at 290 as a good potential entry for this, if you do care. I probably won't. And what do? Provides performance solutions to customers. Oh, performance solutions. Right. How didn't I know that? Literally, what does that mean? It operates through the following segments: contractor solutions, engineered building solutions, and specialized reliability solutions. I think my desk needs to be higher. I'm pushing it higher. Because I'm leaning forward too much. There, that's better. Oh yeah, that's better. How high is this? I should probably save this configuration. 42 inches high. Okay, what was I doing? The contractor solutions segment manufactures performance-enhancing products for residential and commercial HVAC. So centralized vacuum system and ducts is what I'm getting from this. The engineered building solution segment provides code-driven life safety products for the construction of residential buildings. That's it. Weird purchase. Very weird purchase. He's the second politician to file a purchase of this stock in this month. Okay, that's crazy. And he didn't put too much, is what it looks like. From $1,000 to $15,000 was purchased. He did it on November 17. He filed it December 29. So we're already late to the party, and this thing already had its rise since November, right? Oh, obviously. Purchased it November 17. He literally bought the perfect low, and he probably already sold by now, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. I probably would too. If price rose in my favor 30, 35%, yeah, I'm out of there. And the other politician is Gilbert Rey Cisneros Jr. I'd never heard of this man in my life. Give me more information. This is the guy. Representative of where? He's a former naval officer. He's currently representative for California's 31st Congressional District since 2025. Is he Democrat? Okay. Candidate for 2026 U.S. House California District 31 election. Does that mean he will be replacing Gavin Newsom? No, probably not. That's governor. That's a separate thing. Dude, I don't know my American politics. Forgive me. And same deal. And he purchased even earlier than that. And another on November 18. Dude, they both... This is clear insider trading. There's nothing even to pay attention to here anymore. November 18, he purchased. So right down over here at 240. Ended up selling at 327. I'm assuming he would have sold. Yeah, there's no point in entering this, dude. Forget this Fibonacci. Congratulations to you guys, I guess. Like, you figured it out. You found how to make money for free. Congrats with insider information. Why does that stock even rise? What for? Whatever. Okay. Yeah, I'm buying and selling a lot. I know, I'm pretty crazy, isn't it? But I'm still confident Bitcoin's price will continue rising, okay? We'll be fine for 2026. So that is all the news I had to cover for tonight. Nothing much to expect for tomorrow. We didn't get anything today. Jobless claims. That did come out, actually. Yeah, jobless claims. What did we even get? We were expecting 220,000. We had less jobless claims than expected. I'm pretty sure that just adds to the confusion and divergence of rising unemployment, but not a lot of people are claiming their unemployment subsidies or benefits. So they're confident that they're able to go back to work, maybe? That's kind of what Mr. Powell would say. So yeah. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for spending the year with me, 2025. Pretty crazy year. I know I wasn't here for all of it, but most of it I've been here. 10 out of the 12 months. Okay, I came back in February, I think. And been a crazy year. We've made millions. We've lost millions. It was awesome. Here's to another million that we'll make in 2026. It's not a big deal. A lot of milestones were hit this year as well for my channel. 500 subscribers. I really didn't think we were going to do this, especially me just talking into the void is what it feels like for me, but I enjoy it. I share my thoughts and I post it and I do it live. So that's awesome. I thank you guys so much for sticking with me with all that. What else do I have? I'm looking behind me and I think I'm going to fly my drone. Get ready for some fireworks, capture some of that in the far distance. I don't even know if any specific area around me is going to be setting up any fireworks anytime soon, but I encourage you guys to do the same, okay? Happy New Year to you all. Hope all your best wishes come true. And yeah, really, that's it. Same old stuff in 2026. Maybe we'll be richer. Maybe. Hard maybe. That should be your New Year's resolution is work out, get a hot summer body, and get rich AF. And worry about the women later. That's great. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for everything this year. See you next year, basically. And about the schedule, by the way, just before I end, nothing about the schedule. I'll figure out the schedule later. If I have to stream in the mornings, so be it. But, or if I have to stream at midnight, I don't even know. I don't know what I'll do. But, God's plan. We'll figure it out. Okay, guys, thank you. Have a good rest of your evening. Happy New Year. See you next year. Bye.